Hello, everyone. Welcome to, I don't even know what day it is on quarantine just because every state has been doing it a little bit differently. But I am going to talk about the numerology and astrology and the blog for March 24th, 2020. So, once again, because everybody's stuck at home, I thought I'd do some videos. It might be a little bit more entertaining than reading everything. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being in your house and staying really safe. Please recognize that there are people at great risk, and just in the next week or two or three, this whole thing could, well, it is going to explode. And so take really, really good care of yourself and just don't put yourself at any risk whatsoever. Okay, if you add up 3, 24, 20, it is a 13, and if you add the 1 and 3 together, you get the number 4. So the number 4 is about the number of neutral mind, and it's about finding that balance and finding that harmony. So I think it's interesting, we're kind of in forced balance, forced harmony right now. As I was looking at this number and kind of feeling into the number and how it relates to the astrology, it came up for me the question, who are you guarding? Perhaps you have been protecting something very unique and very special on the inside. I believe that all of us have this divine self that got put in a closet or a dungeon in our subconscious because of trauma and upset and wounding and other people's perspectives. I think this is a tremendous moment that we could actually take the time, drop in, go into the dungeon, and maybe free that magnificent gift that's in there. So the greatest gifts that we hold are buried, and they're hidden until we slow down enough to allow them to come out. And often such gifts are delicate and they need time and attention to come forth. I like to think of it like a seed when it's sprouting, and it's more vulnerable at the beginning of its life, which is why seeds need wet, quiet, and darkness of the soil to know when the time is right to emerge. And then the seed, it springs forth and it grows very quickly to reach up to the sunlight because everything wants to eat that little sprout, which is so tender and vulnerable as it opens up. And I think we're no different on the inside. There is something hidden in each of you in the dark. There's always great things that are hidden in the dark, and they're hidden away until we have the time and attention for them. And I really believe this is that moment. So go to the internet, look up meditations for soul retrieval, deep meditation, Vipassana meditation, Kriyas, and allow yourself to journey deep into that darkness. That is where there is peace and understanding, and that is where you have hidden your most amazing self. And to me, that's how we get back to neutrality, because I think it's much easier to be neutral when we are whole and we are complete. And it's very hard to be at peace and to be neutral when we are searching for something within ourselves and we actually don't know actually who we are. So, the astrology. There is a new moon at 5 degrees of Aries on the 24th. And it's a reminder that all of the planets are still packed tightly into 1/3 of the sky. It's sort of in winter. And we are being requested to focus our energy on things that matter. There are things that you have to do and things that you want to do. This new moon alignment with the planetoid Chiron, the wounded healer teacher, is very powerful. It helps us transcend our old wounded self and kind of gives us a kick forward should we want to take it. So Chiron is a famous centaur god. He was a Greek god, and he released his suffering from a mortal wound by giving his immortality to Prometheus on a rock. Then the moment he did that, Chiron then died immediately, only to be put into the constellations for eternity without the suffering of the human condition. Each of us is being asked to let go of something that is no longer true or helpful in this evolving world in which we live. It is time to be courageous and leap onto a new path. Chiron was a half horse and half human because he was kind of a centaur. Therefore, you will have to work on the upcoming traditions in stages. So this whole shift that we're doing is going to be in stages. So think of part of you needs to feel deeply into the human condition, the human part of the centaur. Another part of you needs the strength of a horse to keep going when things are difficult. There is great meaning in this moment. Something very powerful is happening that you will teach your children and your grandchildren. This moment in time is a story that will turn into a legend. Are you a hero, victim, or a villain? What will you discover during this time? How will you evolve? What wisdom will arise within you? There was never a better moment for you to be the hero and heroine of your own story. What will be the discovery that you will experience? In this moment, I want to reference Anne Frank. Notice what she accomplished in her confinement that has stood the test of time, which is Saturn. And perhaps you too will uncover your undiscovered self and beauty. With this new moon in Aries, expect people to get irritated and moody. Know that family disputes are going to erupt from the stress and strain over the past few years, not to mention the past few days. And remember that there are many more intense months to come, so you have to pace yourself, and years to heal the terrible pride of our arrogance and greed. And it will, there's a price that we have to pay the piper, and we're going to be required to pay that price. So you have to pace yourself and know that I know that you're all feeling the fear in this moment, and that fear is being exposed to the light of truth. As all things are new and different, you have an opportunity to be innovative, reevaluate your relationships, and know this is probably the most powerful moment to refine and redefine yourself to become what you have always wanted. Remember, self-reliance is learned by choice. This new moon forms a square to the nodes of the moon. Obstacles are going to abound, and you will feel as if you are wrestling with many emotions as your unresolved past parts battle with your future potential self. Mars is in between Saturn and Pluto. Expect frustration and blocks, not surprising under the circumstances. So breathe, let yourself be open to the process. This is a magnificent moment in time if you play it safe and explore your deepest internal self instead. So my quote for the day is, action leads to experience, and self-reliance is learned by choice. So my blog for today, I wanted you to kind of feel into that something waits for you in the stillness of time. A delicate part that could not embody until you softened and were surrendered beyond mind and into the emptiness of possibility. Such a time is happening, and you are being tested to see if you can hold power through patience, tested to see if you can flow with timeless knowing rather than linear rational mind, tested to see if you have grown beyond the childish whims and arrogant demands of youth. There is always one more test. This is just the beginning of the tests. The first is always the greatest shock to the system. Beginnings are loud, shattering, jarring, and intended to blow you past any illusion of control that you believed you had in this world. Know that all things willingly surrendered to the greater powers that control this reality will be returned back to you in a much more refined and elegant manner when you have practiced the new way and have mastered the true reality with grace and humility. They will not look the same, those gifts, those things that were taken when they return, they are not going to look the same. The desire realm and the needs of a child naturally mature into a place of understanding and acceptance. Petty games of your petulant self are now no longer necessary in the broader understanding of what is really manifesting beyond your old perspective. So again, take care, everybody. Be safe. As you can tell by how I'm dressed, I've been working in the garden, even though it's supposed to snow today. I thought, let's start some seeds. Let's start some things growing. We might as well, since I'm the seed, let's plant seeds and let's do it all together. Take care and just keep breathing. Bye.